Hello, I'm Brian Worley for the Photographer Academy. Today I'm going to talk about choosing your first DSLR. One of the things that you really need to think about when you're choosing an SLR is that you're choosing a system. It's not just one camera. And the key thing is to choose the system that suits you and what you want to take pictures of. So that means the system that's got a range of lenses, a range of accessories, whether that's speed light, flash, whether that's wireless transmitters, whatever you need, because most of the cameras these days actually offer you access to that system. When you choose a DSLR, you're choosing a camera with the widest range of controls. So that gives you the most photographic flexibility because you've got a range of shutter speeds that typically runs from 30 seconds to a 4,000th or an 8,000th of a second. So you've got an extensive opportunity to capture motion or put blur into your pictures. The other thing is that you've got a good range of apertures. So depending on the lenses you put on, that can range from f1.8, f1.4, all the way through to f32, f64 for some of the macro lenses. So again, you've got options and you've got a big range of control for how you're going to use depth of field in your pictures. The last thing that an SLR gives you is partly due to the big image sensors they have, is it gives you a good range of ISO settings or the sensitivity to light. And what that means is that you can shoot in pretty bright daylight, somewhat grey and overcast like we have just here, and also into the darker environments, you know, the dimly lit nightclubs, the band where you might shoot music bands, all of those kind of things. That's what an SLR gives you, access to those extended range of controls. So when you're choosing an SLR, one of the things is to make sure that it actually feels comfortable in your hand. So that means actually you can look them on the internet, but it's worth going and picking them up because they all have slightly different hand grips and different feels in your hand. So get one that's actually comfortable for you because you're going to be holding on to this for quite some time. Now the next thing is the viewfinders. So as an SLR by design, they're designed to look through the lens. So the viewfinder that goes through a mirror or a pentaprism in some cameras, and you're looking actually through the taking lens. So it's important that that viewfinder is something you're comfortable with and it works for your eyes. Virtually all of them will have some kind of adjustment where you can change what they call the diopter, which means you can optimize that viewfinder to work to give you a clear picture for your eyesight. And it's quite important that you remember to change that if you use the camera with somebody else, that you change it between the different people using the camera. The next thing that's important is to have an LCD. Now virtually everything has an LCD screen of some sort in the market these days, but have one that gives you a good bright picture, it gives you a clear display of either the camera settings and also gives you the opportunity to review your pictures. If you're going to think about shooting pictures in, say, using the live view or when you want to use the camera slightly more, perhaps for street photography, the option of having an LCD which is movable, whether it twists out to the side or just flips up, gives you that flexibility to watch your picture create through the LCD screen. And also, if you want to shoot movies with your SLR, that LCD and having the flexibility really is a help. So that's an interesting point, is that virtually all of the SLRs you can get these days will also shoot great quality movies. And movies is a whole different skill set to photography, but the fact is the cameras are great at both. So, of course, with an SLR, the key thing is that the lenses are interchangeable. So whilst you might buy your camera with a standard lens and a kit lens that comes designed to fit most kinds of photography, actual fact, this is the key of the system, is that the lenses are designed to be changed. And you change to different lenses to capture different kinds of pictures. So if you want a wide angle, a landscape type pictures and you want to get plenty in, you'll need to use a wider angle lens. Not just zoom to the widest setting, but a wider angle lens will get you beyond that. Whereas if you want to shoot wildlife or you're going to shoot sports and you want to bring your subjects closer to the camera, a longer lens, so-called a telephoto lens, will bring those subjects, make them look larger in the frame. And so again, you're going to change lenses. You can get a kind of one-size-fits-all lenses, but often there's some kind of compromises with them. So you're typically better getting, say, at least one or two lenses to give you a kind of moderate wide angle to a standard lens like this one, and then perhaps something a little bit longer to bring those distant subjects closer in. So digital SLRs almost always have some kind of pop-up flash when you're starting out, and this is great to just give it a little pop of light, but don't just think of it as something you use when it's dark. Actual fact, it's quite often as useful when it's bright and sunny, because that's when you tend to get dark shadows that you might just want a little bit of light to lighten up. You can usually pop the flash up, either the camera will do it automatically if it's in a very automated mode, and if not, you've got a button somewhere on the body which will let you release the flash, and that will pop the flash up for when you want to use it. So it'll pop up like this. This camera has actually got a built-in microphone as well on the top. That's what the holes are. So when it's shooting movies, you can actually capture the sound from the environment around you. Most of these built-in microphones, they're okay for capturing a kind of audio around where you're filming video, but actually you're better off if you're going to capture a voice like this. You typically need to use some kind of external mic, because this is very sensitive, and any handling of the camera also gets picked up by those microphones. So to sum it up, the thing with the SLR is that you're buying part of a system. So whether you're buying your first camera like this one, which is around the £400 to £500 mark, or you're going to move up to something a bit more of the middle of the range, like this one, which is more around the £1,000 mark, all of the things that work with this one will work with this one, because they're the same brand. So the thing you have to think of is when you buy your first one, you're possibly buying into a system. Of course it's possible to change systems, but it means often changing lenses, flashes and everything else to keep within the same system, because unfortunately the brands are not wholly compatible with each other. So that's really the difference. But actually, the cameras have the same thing. So I find the bigger ones slightly more comfortable in my hands, even though I've got small hands. And choose your SLR system. Choose the camera that's comfortable for you, that fits your pocket, fits your hand, and that gives you the ability to take the photos that you would like. So I've been Brian Worley for the Photographer Academy, and I'll see you next time.